And hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Guys Talking Sports. I'm Pat McDonald from Radigan Media. He's Tim Burney from the Sports Reports. Tim, we're here for episode 27. And coming up in just a little bit, we'll hear from Waverly High School senior and soccer and basketball standout Addison Westbrook.
Yeah, time to kick off the winter sports season here.
Absolutely. It's already underway. We'll talk to Addison a little bit. They kind of kicked everything off. They went over to Wyalusing last Saturday and got a win over Coach Reynolds and the Lady Rams. So a nice start for the Waverly Lady Wolverines. Let's start right there. I guess girls basketball. I think we'll stick in the Valley area for now. The Waverly's kind of the top team.
I think so. I mean, their numbers are really good, top to bottom JV, varsity and JV. They've got Addison Westbrook and Caitlin Sutton back this year. Caitlin was a transfer from Sarah that sat out last year. Addison had a knee injury. You pair them with Riley Judson and all the talent they've got, the athletes they got coming off the bench. They've got the two 5'11" girls, Lauren Wells and the Rockwell girl, and they should be really good. And Bob Kelly loves to bring pressure, and he's going to have the bodies to work with where he can press, send in 4 or 5, and keep doing it. So. Plus, they've got girls that can shoot the three.
Yeah.
So they're going to score points in bunches and create opportunities off their defense.
Should be fun to watch. Obviously, they have a tough schedule. Any year now for them is going to be tough in the stack. They're going to face more challenges than they did in the past. But you'll hear Addison talk about they go take on Hilton at home. I see it's a home game against Hilton from Rochester.
Home of Yanni Yakumhalis.
Yeah, from wrestling fame there. But should be some tough games for the Waverly girls, but we'll see if they're up for the challenge.
Just make them better when postseason comes around.
Absolutely. Going around the end or the Valley for girls, Coach Kelly Allen. I want to call her Burkhart. Coach Kelly Allen back at the helm of the Athens Lady Wildcats and brings with her legendary coach Bob Falver as her assistant coach. Numbers are down, but they're pretty excited down there. They think they can round these girls into shape, I think.
Boy, they lost one girl that would have helped them to a knee injury south of the year, Brielle Mayo. A couple other girls didn't come out at all. But I do, Addie Wheeler is going to be a 4-year starter, and she's, her only problem is she's too unselfish at times. She's got shots she doesn't take at times, but if she figures that she needs to score, she could score 20 a night.
Yeah.
And Kenna Jarvis is back. She'll help him, only a sophomore. There is some talent there. I think the NTL is not exactly loaded.
No, you'd look at Troy. Troy's the team to beat there in the girls and the boys.
But I think otherwise they should be competitive.
Yeah, Tawanda, Rob Gentile is going to have a decent team, I think. But anytime you bring not one but 2 District 4 championship winning coaches back into the fold at Athens, it's a good day, I guess, and we'll see how they can build that program back up.
They will definitely get the most out of their players.
Sarah will have a team. They low on numbers again, but looking like they'll have a varsity only team, I would imagine.
7 girls. They do have a transfer in from Elmira. Going to be the point guard. Her she's pretty talented. Abby McGahee and Riley Lance are back as well.
And then Matt Sinise back at the helm there as the head coach, right?
Yes. Yep.
And then Brian Miller over there helping him out.
So another
good coach.
Yep.
Will help out Sarah obviously there. So be interesting. Hopefully, Tioga not having a varsity team, right?
Correct.
I've heard it's gone back and forth, but
they've got some girls that older seniors that wanted to play, but they've already teams that have. When Tioga announced they were going to have a varsity team, other teams have to fill their schedule. So I don't know how many open games there are. If they wanted to create a varsity team at this point, it's kind of late.
Yeah, I know they're still working on the Valley Christmas tournament for the girls, hopefully coming back this year, and that was one of the things Tioga pulling out. I think they brought Norwich into the fold, so it's going to be Athens, Sarah, Waverly, and Norwich, which will be different for the Valley Christmas tournament, but good to see it, the girls tournament back this year. Like I said, Troy girls, I think, in the NTL are the team to beat.
And I think Tawanda will be solid too. Wyalusing, 13-point game with Waverly. Waverly's going to be pretty good. Addie Westbrook said that they were a little off to start with, but picked it up.
I think we'll see. Coach Nick Reynolds was maybe a year ahead of schedule down there Made states a year ago, right? Put together a nice year. I think he's doing a nice job down there, and the NTL is not like as good as it once was, I guess, at this point. And so hopefully a lot of these teams will make a little bit of noise here. Boys, let's go to the other side of New York State. Any WeGo girls?
WeGo girls should be good again. Athletic. The Ashlyn Dalton, one of the standout soccer players, a good ball player. Newark Valley, they've won 4 IAC titles in a row, but they've suffered. I mean, they got a Division I player, Chad Gardner's at Stephen F. Austin now, so they lost a lot the last few years. Greg Schweiger's going to have his hands full as far as he's going to have to do a little more coaching than he's done with the talent he's had the last 4 years. But I expect them to be good. He's a good coach. Candor girls are athletic. Can
They have some of those volleyball players.
Exactly, so they'll be fine. And Spencer Vanette in the same way. So I think you can see some pretty good basketball in the IAC.
Let's stick with New York for the boys to start things out. Waverly, going to be a different year for Coach Judson, obviously, up there. You lose Joey Tomaso, Jay Piper,
Nick Van Houten.
Jake Van Houten.
Jake Van Houten.
And then you lose Xavier Watson is leaving early to go to UConn, play spring football up there. Colson Keithley gets hurt in the Section 4 football championship football game and likely out for the year. I'm not sure if that's confirmed.
I believe so.
So obviously, different year for Coach Judson. He's gonna have to give the school its money's worth. What he makes coaching wise. Because
on top of that, you're dealing with kids. Some kids are still banged up from football season, and it's probably going to be a lingering issue all year long.
But they got some guys. I mean, Hogan Shaw.
He's one of them. It's seven.
So dealing with an injury, but he's their leading scorer probably of anybody back. I would think.
He is.
Benny Shaw went through a rough year. I mean, awesome year as a playing wise a quarterback, but he's got to be. It's not like he can't be 100% right now. I mean,
middle linebacker and quarterback. Yeah,
but he's gonna be there.
He's a gym rat. Yeah, he's a coach's kid, and he'll that's what made him so good as a football player, and that's why he'll be a good point guard for him.
And then Fletcher Good, a newcomer there on the football field, will also be on the basketball court. So it's going to be interesting.
And they'll have Rockwell, some size inside.
Yep.
And plus they were 19-1 last year and won the STAC championship junior varsity. So they've got some kids coming up that can play. They just haven't had varsity experience, and they're going to get thrust into a position where they're going to have to play on varsity. So,
and just bring up their schedule now. It doesn't start out easy for them. They go to Seton Catholic December 11th to kick things off. So and then Susquehanna Valley. I'm not sure how they are this year, but on the road. They're on the road the first 4 games, and then the
gym
Christmas
won't open until January 3rd. So they're trying to front loaded all the road games so they can play all.
So that makes it even harder, obviously. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what Coach Judson can do with basically a 99% brand new, at least starting rotation there, other than Hogan Shaw. Tioga boys
decimated by graduation, plus their top scorer from last year returning, Shea Bailey,
injured
for the year with an injury suffered in the football.
New coaching staff there, right? New coaching staff up at Tioga too.
Connor Hutchinson is going to be coaching. They've got Jack Bombard back at point guard. He played some last year as a freshman. The younger Landmesser, Brady, I believe, is back. He played a little bit last year as a sophomore, but they don't have any varsity experience to speak of. And so everybody, that's going to be a JV team for the first half of the season anyway, till they get some experience.
Owego, we'll stick with New York for now. How's Owego looking this year?
Owego should be. I mean, they've got athletes, so they don't. I don't know if they're as big as they have been in the past, but they do have a couple big boys. They're gonna be solid. And they're well coached. Chris Evans is a great coach, so they'll compete for sure.
That's gonna be interesting. Obviously,
Candor's the team up there.
Yeah,
Nate Thomas. He's got a great crew up there, and they play hard-nosed basketball, just like he was a hard-nosed player. I remember watching him and covering him. And so Candor's probably the team to beat in the small school.
I was going to say that Corning, Elmira, and Horseheads all had deep playoff runs in football, so they're getting a late start too. Especially Corning just got beat in the States there, and the same head coach for football is the head coach of basketball, so he's he's hopping from one sport to another. It'll be interesting to see how they. I get to see Horseheads. I stopped at Athens. They scrimmaged Horseheads. It was right after Horseheads was done with football, so not all their football players were back, I don't think, but
right.
Horseheads has some good players there. I think they should be okay.
Be fine. Yeah, they a lot of those kids wrestle too. So
yeah. Athens will go there next. Like I said, I got to see them scrimmage against Horseheads. Look pretty good. Have some shooters. Jace Babcock is back, a senior. Has a nice shot. Adam Kemp can really shoot it. Nick Grazel, smaller as a guard, but he's very athletic.
I like him. He can get to the bucket. He uses his body to.
And then one guy to look out for is sophomore lefty Lucas Schultz, I think, is Coach Lister and Coach White are really excited about him as a sophomore. So should be interesting. The NTL, just like the girls, is kind of down other than Troy.
Yeah.
So I think Athens is going to find themselves in position to win a bunch of games.
Yeah, I think the biggest question with Athens is just who's going to score. And they haven't had a real, Nick Jacob could shoot to three last year, but they haven't had a real consistent three-point threat who could put up 30 on you or 20 on you in a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've got that this year, and that hurts. That makes it really hard to win when you're not getting consistent points from the perimeter.
Yeah, they went from back-to-back 1,000-point scores graduating, J.J. Babcock, Mason Lister, and they've been trying to find those scores since then, right? Since those guys graduated. So
now they play defense. They play hard and they play defense. So I think that'll win them a share of games.
And numbers are good. And
it doesn't matter. Bobby Knight disciples, and I'm not saying Jim Lister's one, but I always got a kick out of that. Defense, defense, defense. Well, if you don't outscore the other team, doesn't matter how many points you give them, you're not winning. So.
But it'll be interesting to see what Athens does. They're going to kick off the year. They go to Williamson and North Penn Liberty next week, Tuesday, Thursday. Then they're at the Johnson City tournament Friday, Saturday. So not a fun stretch, especially road trip wise, with those two NTL West schools.
I think usually it's Johnson City, Norwich, and Newfield are the other four or the other teams.
And I think Coach Lister told me they're starting with Norwich, I think, this year. So we'll see what they can do down there. Like I said, I think
they may see Norwich twice this year then, because they're in the. Well, that's just the girls.
Yeah, just the girls are in Christmas tournament. Christmas tournament. I think they start. It's Athens Waverly starting Christmas tournament, playing each other. So that's rare. Although this year, Sayre might be the team to beat as far as the NTL wise, a small school especially, and they're
for the boys.
They're going to give Athens a run, I think, when they play there.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, Pelicano's he needs 277 points. I think it was. He's told me, but he should get his 1,000th this year. Zach Sinise can light it up when he's on. He's kind of streaky. They've got some good size. Hudson Trump and Ryan Ressler on the paint. They've got probably they go 7, 8, 9 deep. So I think Coach Blythe will have the opportunity to get out and run and push the tempo and push the defensive tempo if they want to, and still have guys be able to come off the bench and not drop. Got Declan Berry, the sophomore, good point guard. So I like Sayre this year. I think they
as much as Troy's a favorite in the large school, I think Sayre's maybe just as big a favorite in the small school. I think a lot of those teams. Yeah, you're looking at Canton, CV, Liberty, Northeast, and Williamson are the other teams in NTL small school.
Always tough to go over West, especially with the officiating, because you never know you're going to get over there officiating wise. And more than once, I remember Athens and Sayre going over there expecting to win and coming home.
Well, Athens boys, it's been a nightmare over there for them. I think Wellsboro especially, and even Mansfield.
So
with that was when Kipper Burley was coaching really over there with Mansfield. They never had much success over there. But yeah, it is tough going over there. The NTL. Well, we won't get into officials. I don't want to get fined or anything.
Yeah. So, but no, I think Sayre is the team to beat in the small school. But they've got. You get over there. Williamson has been pretty solid. CV always seems to come up with a couple kids that can score and make things interesting against you. So,
talk about a tough place to play. Northeast Bradford headed over to Rome, Warren, so whatever you want to call it, Lee-Raysville. I'm not sure. We've always debated where the actual school is over there. It's
I believe it's in Louisville.
some people write Rome on the date line. Some
Because it's shorter, that's why. If you write Louisville, it kicks over to the next
always
line.
a tough place to play over there, and good coaches, coaching staff, and I'm sure they'll be pretty competitive this year as well. Troy, we'll talk. Last episode we talked to Brendan Gilliland. They're getting ready to play for a football state championship, so the basketball team has not really started yet this year. I've seen they've canceled a bunch of their.
Yeah.
They're not going to tip-off tournament, I don't think. So Coach Woodward's going to have to wait.
Well,
just another few more days, and then wait for them to get healthy. After a long football season.
With his son playing quarterback, I don't think he minds having to wait.
So Troy's team they're going to be really good in basketball once they get rolling. Evan Woodward.
I'm curious to see, what Wellsboro always seems to put together teams, and they graduated quite a bit.
And their football team is down with the car accident injuries and all that, so I'm not sure how that affects their basketball squad.
So I'm curious to see because they are always competitive.
I've heard
what you think.
I've heard good stuff about Towanda this year. I think they're going to be really improved.
I like Landon Henry. He does a nice
great
job.
Coach down there. Hard-nosed, old-school kind of coach for a young guy, but he really gets the best out of him. And but you're looking at that Troy roster. I mean, Lincoln Kimmicks, Woodward, like I said, then maybe their best is Jack Burbage, is a great player. So it's going to be one of those things.
And they're going to have a couple kids that we don't even know about step up.
Oh yeah, because their JV team is good. I think.
Yeah, they were. So
it's their basketball team's going to have the same problem their football team does when there comes like the MVP race, and because they're going to have so many guys scoring and helping them out. So basketball should be fun. Wrestling, we'll start in the NCL this time. Towanda, really excited to watch. They've been building to this year with the Black Knights, the senior class. They've been basically the captain since they were freshmen, it seems like. With Mason Higley, Riley Vanderpool, Riley Slater, Sawyer Robinson. Those guys had a great football season. Now getting ready on the wrestling mats, and Higley just wrestles all year round. But Coach Sexton has a team that can not only get some individuals down to Hershey for states, but maybe get the team down there, compete for a District 4 duals title.
I'm half tempted to make my reservations for the state duals. I think, the top two from Section 4, right? Go.
District 4, yeah.
Yeah, or District 4. So Line Mountain's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know if they beat Line Mountain, but they should be right in the mix for second place. And don't get me wrong.
I think
anything can happen in wrestling. You catch somebody and you flip 12 point. Maybe you could knock off Line Mountain, but
they have the fire. Towanda has the firepower if the matchups line up right, where they can get 6 points a bunch of times. So, and gonna be fun to watch. Obviously, they're still chasing that elusive individual state champ, and this is the group. I've talked to Riley Vanderpool and Mason Higley a lot over the years. Of that's one of their goals, right? Yeah. So they want to be the first one to get up on the board there. Athens, I haven't looked too much into them yet. What are you seeing out of them?
The biggest problem for Athens is going to be the fact that they're AAA this year, and that's just it might be easier to get two states, but once you're there, Sean Bradley affectionately calls it a meat grinder once you get the AAA states.
Well, Sean, last time Athens was AAA, Sean was there, and I think he placed 4th or 5th at the state tournament. At AAA, you never know. In AA, what you do, and
then he ended up at Cornell for 4 years, and
100 wins up there, and they had some great wrestlers at that AAA level back in the day. Jeff Coombs and a bunch of guys, that were really good at, and might have made more noise at AA, but that's the way it goes when the numbers come out, I guess.
But I'm looking forward to watching Connor Davidson, Brendan Cook. They got some really good young wrestlers, and I'm looking forward to
the Athens wrestling room. It's literally gets kids ready for individual poses. Like that's their goal. They have the wall down there with all the names of the state place winners and state champs, and that's
totally opposite approach as Towanda.
Yeah,
as far as they go to the toughest individual tournaments there are, Bedford, and they go anywhere, and then Towanda's always looking at duels.
It's always funny at the end of the year. You'll see Athens' record going into the District 4 duels. They could be like 6-3.
Right.
And Tawanda's got 20 dual wins or whatever. But it's just a different approach. And Coach Bradley's and Jay White and Scott Setzer, they do a great job getting kids ready. I mean, they want to win duels. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they'd love to, win a District 4 duels title.
It's not a priority.
It's Hershey is the priority in March, and that's what it's always going to be, I think, down there. Tioga, they lose a ton, but they're still one of the favorites, I would think, in Section 4 and
they've got
states.
They've got 4 kids coming back that were second or third last year at states. So, and they probably got, Tate McCauley was, 1 point, 2 points away from going to states last year. So he's got a shot, although heavyweight in Section 4 is pretty good this year. So he'll have to wrestle well.
Yeah, the returning state champ too, right there. Talk about Waverly, Troy Beeman, like I just said, returning state champ at heavyweight, Matthias Wells.
They're both ranked number 1 in the state. And Declan McKee, the 99-pounder or 100, whatever that weight is, the lowest weight for New York State.
102.
He's the number 1 seed for your number 1 ranked wrestler in New York for Tioga. So
should be interesting. They always have a good schedule. The what's the tournament up at the Lee Com Event Center now? What do they call it? What are they calling the Southern Tier Classic,
Southern Tier
right?
Memorial.
Yeah. So
Waverly opens this weekend at the Mark Stevens Classic at Horseheads.
Horseheads, which always
there's I think there's 7 teams there, and I think 5 of them are state ranked.
And Brett Owen doing a great job up at Horseheads. Always a good tournament. I usually stop up there to the Stevens. They always bring in Middletown, New York. Goes to that one. I got a buddy that coaches there. So
we've got the Jarvis tournament at Athens
this weekend too.
So
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that list of teams yet.
Me either. I'm going up Friday night to Stevens Classic, and then I'll spend the day. I'll probably end up shooting the girls wrestling on Matt Pat, and I'll do the boys. So
girls wrestling. That's gonna be more interesting this year on the NTL side of things. Towanda has their own team now. So Towanda does Northeast have I think they started their own team.
Yeah, they had their own last year. They had 3 or 4 girls. The coach's daughter there. She wrestled for Athens as a freshman.
Yep.
Went to state. She's got 2 state medals, and the name is totally escaping me right now. But she's very talented, and I would expect her to get back for a third one. Athens has got a couple girls that should.
I've heard that wrestling room is full of girls. Like the numbers are crazy down there. Kudos to Jay White, David White, and obviously Sean Bradley back in that too, and the whole the administration at Athens is really. They've been like the catalyst for girls wrestling.
Yeah, Jay's been instrumental. Jay White's been instrumental in girls wrestling in this area, and especially south of the border. So
it's gonna be
to him.
Should be a fun year. We'll hit on this later on in episodes down the road. Athens swimming, you were saying real quick.
Yeah, Athens swim has a bunch of kids that qualified for districts last year back. Ethan Hicks back as a senior, really strong swimmer. Should have a good year. Should be fun. Both boys and girls should have a bunch of kids going to districts.
Awesome. Well, right now we're going to send it to our interview with Waverly High School senior and basketball standout Addison Westbrook. And joining us now here on Two Guys Talking Sports is Waverly High School senior Addison Westbrook. How are we doing tonight, Addison?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well.
Good. So, Addison, you missed your entire junior year with a major knee injury and surgery. Suffered first day of soccer practice, right?
Yeah.
Your junior year.
Yeah.
So tell me, how much time, how much work did you have to put in to get back to be able to play?
Every day, basically. I had physical therapy and workouts that I had to do on my own. And I did some with our trainer at practice when I couldn't participate in other things. But it took quite a long time.
Well, the question is, I know you're probably 100% physically, but have you gotten that out of your head yet as far as Are you able to do things without thinking about it?
I'm almost there. Soccer really helped with basketball, but I think I'm almost 100% mentally.
Speaking of soccer, school's first ever Section 4 championship. Tell me a little bit about that. That'd be pretty exciting for you.
Well, our coach was saying how it's always been us and Forks, in the past year, like you're saying, and they've always lost. So just beating them my senior year just felt really nice. Finally do.
Obviously, it's a rough stretch there for the Westbrook girls, right?
Yeah.
Your sister Kennedy tore her ACL when she first got down to college, was it?
It was in the summer.
in this over the summer then, and so misses her first year down there. Had a great year, but did you guys kind of bond and talk over about the injuries, obviously? And did she give you any advice on, because she got back on the field first, right? And was helping. Did she help you out at all?
Oh yeah, mostly mentally, and sometimes we would just like go to the field and like work out together just to help each other.
What was it like to be able to play with her for a few years at Waverly?
I think it's an experience that not everyone gets to experience, and it's really nice and like welcoming when you're younger.
You're looking at that soccer team. There's only 3 or 4 seniors on the whole team, and so you're going to be moving on to college, but most of these girls are going to be back. You think they're going to have that same kind of continued success over the next couple of years?
I think so. I don't know. Like all of them are just super athletic and have lots of room to grow, and I think they'll take advantage of that.
Is Mackenzie Olmstead as tough as she looks on the field when she plays for being 100 or 90 pounds or whatever she is?
Yes, she's very tough and hard to get by.
What was that moment like for you to win a section title and just kind of make history at Waverly?
It was like a really surreal moment, and like I've never experienced it, and I was just happy to do it with the people that I did it with.
Yeah, not many people do get to experience
it.
it. So let's move on to basketball now. Same type deal this year. Pretty young team, only a couple seniors.
Only 2.
Yeah, but you're back.
Yeah.
Caitlin Sutton, who had to sit out last year after she transferred from Sarah, is back. Plus, you've got all the Riley Judson and all those young girls. How you feeling going into this season?
I think a lot of people are going to doubt us, and we're going to catch a lot of teams off guard.
What was the difference? Of course, you weren't playing, but you were there for all the games. What did you see the biggest difference was between the IAC and the stack?
There's a lot better competition, and I feel like we were kind of like the top team in the IAC, but it's not really the same for the stack. But I think we had still a pretty good season last year for it being our first time.
How do you think that helped you in soccer? I talked to Knowlesy, the superintendent at Waverly, a lot about this when you guys decided to move over to the stack. And one of the big reasons was to get better competition. The regular season gets you prepared for the postseason, right? How much does that help?
That helped tremendously.
You had already played Forks, once or twice during the regular season.
Yeah.
So to see them in the playoffs is no shock to you.
Yeah.
What's kind of the bond like of this basketball team? Obviously, Coach Kelly's been there a long time. Yeah. What's it like playing for him, and what's the feeling like around the program right now?
All of the girls are really close. We always have team bonding. Like we always have dinners and stuff like that. And Coach Kelly, just his energy brings all of us up together.
Last year was not many teams have to go through what you guys went through last year with Peyton. And I'm sure that created a bond for you girls that'll never go away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what was it like going through that? How did you guys keep everything together like that last year? And how big was that community support? Because that's just another time that showed the Valley always steps up when in the good and the bad, right?
We spent every minute together. We would have sleepovers at one house, and we would just keep switching, and we would not leave each other's side at all. So I think that helped.
Let's go back to basketball this season. You guys kind of the first team to kick things off, right? You go to Wyalusing, a long road trip, and get a win over there, 51-38, against a team that made states in PA last year. Mm-hmm. What'd you learn about your team that first game?
We were very timid at first, just like any regular first game. But after a while, we finally got our spark, and not having a shot clock kind of slows the game down, and we're not really used to that. I feel like Waverly is just go, go, go.
You guys, like I said, you're back, Caitlin's back, all those young girls have a lot of experience they might not have got last year because of the injuries. Do you think, we're used to seeing when Bob Kelly's teams are at full strength, you're going to press, create tempo, run, and take the open shot. We're going to see a lot more of that this year.
Yeah, definitely.
So how many, who's going to be the big scorers for this year?
You can say yourself.
It's really a weird thing.
Well, you Riley led the way the other night.
Yeah,
so we expect more of that. And
Yeah, me and Riley. Kate has a nice shot.
Do you think we'll see a lot of threes again this year from you
I
guys?
think so. I think a lot. Yeah, a lot, definitely. There's a lot of guards.
It's not Waverly girls basketball without three-pointer, right? So
No, not at all.
I'm looking at your schedule now. When you look at the schedule, what are some of the challenges you see?
I think we're playing this team called Hilton from Rochester. They're supposed to be really good, so I'm kind of excited to play them. Forks will be a good competition with Maggie Warpus. I'm excited to play against her.
And Corning's big. I think they've got a 6'4".
Yeah,
So they'll present some problems
yeah,
for you.
that will be a good game.
And then hopefully the Valley Christmas Tournament girls edition is back this year. What would that be like for you to be able to play in that one more time?
I'm super excited. I just hopefully we win.
I was going to say, numbers for your team. I mean, you got a full complement on JV and varsity, right?
Yeah.
As opposed, Tioga didn't have a varsity team this year. Sayre's got 7. I think Athens only got 13. Mm-hmm. So, is there a lot of excitement around your program at Waverly?
Yes, a lot. We have a lot of JV girls.
Then did they have to do any cuts?
Yeah, we had I think over 25 tryout just for JV. Wow. Yeah, so that was a lot.
The practices get pretty intense then with that kind of competition going on?
Yeah, kind of. Without having a gym, it's kind of hard.
Let's talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's talk about that. Where are you guys practicing, and how's that kind of hampered things for you?
Most of our practices are at Epiphany, but we have to share a gym sometimes, which kind of we can't get the running that we want in. And then we have a gym in Owego. It's called the Nazarene Church.
Okay.
But they're not too bad. They're treating us very well.
Is that a full-size gym now, or is that a...
I think they're a little smaller. At least the Nazarene one, I think
Is it carpeted, or is it a real hardwood floor?
It's hardwood floor.
No, I
know there's some churches
they had carpeting in their that Berber or whatever, the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but is it... so you're not running full court a lot?
No, not really.
But are you running a lot in practice trying to make up for that, or?
Yeah, kind of. It's very tiring.
Have you taken a sneak peek at the new gym up at Waverly High?
Yeah, they have some doors open here and there. It looks really nice so far. They should be done hopefully soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think the first games are January 3rd?
Yeah.
I think the first games are scheduled for the 3rd. That'll be nice.
Yeah, January 3rd. You guys are supposed to have Susquehanna Valley there, so I think we'll probably be there on the radio and calling that game. When Coach Kelly talks about goals for basketball season, what's he say?
Just to play together and play smart and just have fun and win. Definitely win. He does not like losing at all.
And when you think about goals for yourself this year, obviously coming off an injury there, what are the goals for you?
I just hope I fulfill however many points or assists or just help my team win.
So what's the future hold for Addison, Westbrook?
I've been looking at some colleges. I'm not really certain yet, but I've been looking at RIT and Misericordia are my top 2. But
okay, what do you want to be when you grow up then?
I applied for their ultrasound programs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And looking to play basketball in college or
I'm not
soccer,
sure yet.
both?
Basketball.
Basketball.
If I did play, then it would be basketball. But I'm not 100% certain.
Awesome. That is Waverly Senior Addison Westbrook. Addison, thanks for stopping by Two Guys Talking Sports, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we want to thank Addison Westbrook for stopping by Two Guys Talking Sports. That is going to do it for episode 27. We want to thank our sponsor, J. Lister LLC, and Lender's Assistance. Give Jim Lister a call, 607-857-2036. Email him at jim.lister@yahoo.com. Let Jim's 30 years in the automobile industry work for you. Don't forget to like the post when you see it on Valley Sports Report or on Choice 102's Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Get on the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share. Everything you do helps us out.
Absolutely. We will talk to you next week.